Hi everyone, welcome back to Fire Biscuit Gaming. Today we're going to talk about Paladin's Oath, Followers and Blessings tutorial. If you're not familiar with the game, Paladin's Oath is a game I've been working on for a year and a half now, and it's coming out on Steam in March 2022. If you like what you see on the screen, please wishlist the game. The link for Steam wishlist will be in the YouTube video description. So let's go and get started with this tutorial. So first, you click on tutorial, and you can see there are a bunch of them. So the first one was movement and exploration. There's a video about this. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it because I go through the base core mechanic of the game. Now, the more advanced version of that is the followers and blessings. So let's select that scenario. Right, so now the scenario is loaded, and then you can see many things on the screen. I've been through the details of those things, you know, how to move, how much it costs to move, what's the mana, and all of this in the movement and exploration tutorial. So please look at it. But the basic idea is that the tiles that you move to have a cost to move there. So 2 to move to this one, 3 to move to that one, and you can explore a new section of the map. It costs 2 to do that. And you have a bunch of cards here. As you can see, I only have 2 cards here. Whereas in the first tutorial, the movement and exploration, I had 6 cards. That means I need to use my other abilities, so followers and blessings, to complement my hand. That's the whole goal of this scenario, is to use everything you have at your disposal to find the village and reach it. A new panel has been added here, which is the environment panel. The kind of information you can see here are, the day time, so day and night. So it's useful when you're like zoomed in completely and you don't see the background. You can see, I'm still during the day. Otherwise, you have the background here that shows you the sky is blue and daytime. You also have the map sections remaining to explore. So you can see here there are 3 regular map sections, and then there are 0 what we call core map sections. So the regular map sections can be added anywhere, whereas the core map sections have to be added next to 2 other tiles. But don't worry about it, the game takes care of that for you. It's just to let you know that you have 3 sections remaining. So the village is in one of those 3, so I have to explore quite a lot in this scenario to be able to reach the village. Hopefully I don't screw that up. And the last thing here is the environmental effect. If you remember, in the first scenario I explained the player effect. So when you click on this, you can see the active effects of your player. So I have not activated anything yet, so this is empty. But if I click here, some environmental effect might be also activated. For example, if I play an effect like all of the movement is increased by 1 or something, it might show up in the environmental effect rather than the player effect, because it applies to the entire environment. If one day I make the game multiplayer, one day, maybe all the players will benefit from these effects. Now, let's look at the other thing. So in the previous tutorial, the movement tutorial, you only had the cards available to you. But now we have 2 more categories. We have followers and then we have blessings. So followers are additional always on cards, if you will, right? They look different, but the general idea is that cards are always available to you, whereas the abilities, you draw them from the deck and then you discard them and then you reshuffle and all of this. The followers are always on. And there's a concept of empty slots, or follower slots or command slots. This is how many, determines how many followers you can command at any time. So in this tutorial scenario, I can command up to 3 followers. So if I went somewhere and then acquired a new one, then I could add it here. If I wanted a 4th one, then I would have to discard or disband one of my existing followers and replace it with the 4th one. There's the blessings too, which are here similar to followers. They are always on, and then they are acquired only when you level up. I'll get to that in a moment. So now followers, let's look at what these cards look like. First, you have the level in the top left corner. Also determines how much it costs to heal them when they are wounded. So it would cost 1 healing point to heal 1 wound on that traveler. So your followers can be used to tank some damage from the enemies you are fighting. And if you're wounded, you might be able to use healing points to heal them. So you would need 1 healing point to heal 1 wound placed on that follower. You can get more followers by going around the map, interacting with locations where the followers roam into, and then you can buy them there using leadership. So we mentioned leadership in the previous tutorial, but here I see this one can generate 2 leadership here. So I could use leadership, go somewhere, use leadership and buy another one. There's also a market that shows you where the followers are, which is covered in the next tutorial. So now let's go back to the followers. There are 2 main kinds, silver and gold, so basic and elite. These are both basic followers. The elite followers only show up when you start revealing the core map sections on top. That's why they are important. But there won't be any right now because we only reveal the green ones. But as soon as you start revealing the core maps on the next round, then elite followers will show up and you'll be able to recruit them. And they are much more powerful, and you will need them to go far into your crusade. Now, they work similar to cards where, if you want to activate them, you just hover the action you want to activate, you click on it, and then you select the effect that you want, or like this. And similar to other cards, you can also undo. So let's say I want to do this, I activate it. I can see that, my points are available up there, but I can click and deactivate it. So you can undo until you make a move, until you explore or reveal new information. All right. So similar to the movement tutorial. Now, the particularity of these followers is they can only be used once a day or once a night. So if I use my leadership, my traveler for movement here, and I activate it and I start moving, then the followers will become exhausted. It will be sleeping basically until the next day or until the next night. They are cards or abilities that allow you to refresh an exhausted follower. I don't have one right now as far as I know, but the idea is you can typically only use them once per day or night, and they will be automatically refreshed on the next day or night when the round starts. All right. So let's see what we can do with those followers. They give me attack or block, they give me leadership, and they give me movement. This one gives me block, but it also gives me move too, and it also allows me to move through forest, hills, and swamps with 1 movement less. So it's cheaper by using this guy to move through forest. For example, forest costs 3, hills and swamps. So I only see forest now. There might be hills and swamps in these other 3 tiles over there. So that would be useful maybe later, but let's just continue seeing what else we have available to us. So let's say I click on blessings now, and I can see 2 things here, a few things here. One is the flavor, the icon that represents the skill. For wind portal, there's also this icon here. Similar to followers, there are always available cards that you can activate, so they don't get drawn or discarded and whatnot. They're always there. They also get exhausted when you use them. So this one is once a day. So if I use this to get my teleport, or if I use this to reduce the movement cost on terrains, then it will be exhausted and I will have to wait until the next day or the next night to use it. So there's some kind of card economy, as you can start to realize now as I play the game, that I have to, think about my long-term strategy for the round and figure out, okay, I will need this because I need to move right now. I won't need it later, but maybe I need it later and I should conserve it. Okay, you get more of those blessings every time not every time, but when you level up. If you want to know whether you're going to get a blessing in the next level, you can just hover your mouse here and it tells you here the reward for the next level will be you can get 1 more card and you can draw 2 and keep 1 of the blessings. If you've seen my other video about how to set up your crusade, you will see that the blessings depend on the paladin that you chose. So your character has a list of blessings that are dependent on the deity that they pray to, or they are bound to. And so this one specifically has these 2 blessings. There might be more, but when I level up, I get more. In this scenario, I will not be leveling up because it's a tutorial scenario. But the idea here is I have blessings that give me movement. It works the same way. I can activate, and I will activate it. And you can see here, actually, this one is one of those environmental effect I was mentioning. So the move cost of all terrain is reduced by 1. And you can see here in the environment panel, if I click on it, it shows the effect up here. Okay. Now I can deactivate and undo and then try something else. Until I make a move, the effect will remain. And then, so actually the effect will remain forever until the end of the round or the turn. Here I can teleport, but I don't really want to use that right now because that would just allow me to move here, and teleporting allows you to bypass the cost of spaces, and also allows you to move over things like lakes and mountains. Now, I need to be able to explore and find the village. So let's see how I would do that. So I have some movement cards here, some mana, I have green, and I have all the colors available to me, but I can only take one this turn. So maybe I'll need this later, I don't know. And then the followers allows me to move and allows me to reduce the cost of forest and hills. So just nice, if you remember in the first tutorial, I went in here in the forest to maximize my the number of tiles I can open. So I think I will try to do the same thing here, and I should activate these abilities that reduces cost as quickly as possible, so that any movement I use will be at reduced cost. And so maybe I start with this one, allows me to move cost of all terrain reduced by 2. Okay, so now my forest is super cheap. It only costs 1 to move there. Okay, and I can also activate this guy. Now there's an asterisk next to it. It tells me that it's being affected by environmental effect. So I click on this, I get my 2 movement, and it will also reduce the movement of cost of forest and hills. So now the forest is free to move into. That's awesome. So I just move there and commit. Now you can see my tracker is now exhausted and resting. It won't be activated again until the next day or the next night. Okay, but it generated 2 movement for me. I haven't used any yet, so I'll be able to explore in any of these directions. And then I'll be able maybe to teleport later if the terrain becomes too rough to move through. So first let's explore. I would say this one. You can see here there's already rough terrain, there's lake I can't go through, there is a marsh that's quite expensive, but actually it's been reduced by the environmental effect. There's a swamp, remember, also reduced by environmental effect. And so I want to explore more because I have 2 more tiles before I can find the village. So let's see, can I explore 1 more? So I need 2 movement to explore, so let's generate 2 here with either this, or I could use one of them, but I want to keep them for later because they are more versatile, right? I can use for move 4 or move 2. So let's just move 2 first with my traveler. Activate the traveler and then explore here. Now we can see another icon on the map. It's the source. It's just there for show. I don't need to go there right now because I will not be ending my turn. But now I have 1 more tile. So where should I put it? I'm thinking here would be nice, in the middle here, so that I have options to coming from here or coming from there. But how do I reach this spot? So I could go here and then do 0 movement into the forest and then 1 to the plain. So I would need 1 movement to go here, which is not bad. Or I could go here and then teleport here and then go all the way up here. And so that would save me, that would cost 2 movement. So this is 1 movement, this is 2 movement. So I'm thinking I will use my movement 4 here to generate enough movement. So let's use maybe the green one. Why green, why not blue? Because I might need the blue for later. So let's use the green one, activate it, select my crystal, and now I have 4 movement points, which would allow me to move here and explore. Just nice. I move here at 0, I move here at 1, and I can go here, but why would I do that when I can just explore? And I can see, whoa, my village is right there. Okay, and I need to move all the way to the village. And firstly, I'm blocked by the mountain here, but I can also go through this spot where I can get 2 movement to the marsh, 1 movement through the forest, so that's 3, and another 4 movement to go all the way here. So I have multiple ways of solving this, depending on how I want to play the rest of my turn. But in this case, I just want to show the various mechanics of the game. So I have 1 movement point here. So what I can do is I can teleport. I can choose to teleport 2. If I can pay 2 movement, I can teleport 2. If I pay 1 movement, I can teleport 1. So I kind of want to teleport, so that would bring me straight up into the village. But I need to be able to generate 2 movement points. So I don't have any followers available now, but I have 1 more card left. So I could say generate 4 with the mana from the source, or generate 2 with the basic free action. As you can see here, I made a bad choice by selecting that green card, because if I planned properly, I could use the mana, the blue mana from or the green mana from the ambient environment mana, instead of spending my crystal that I could use on a subsequent turn. But it's okay, it's just a tutorial, we can make mistakes. So let's just activate this, get my 2 movement here, Boom, now I have 3. That's sufficient for me to activate the big teleport action here. You auto consume the movement points, and I activate. And now it allows me, you can see the icon change to being a teleport icon. I could go back if I wanted to, but here I want to jump into the village. Boom. And that's it. The tutorial is completed. It just shows that we have 2 followers at the end of the tutorial, which is nice. And the bunch of cards that we didn't acquire anything, we didn't spend any turn. And so this tutorial is not allowing us to level up and whatnot. All right, I hope you find this useful. And if you like what you see again, please go to the video description and then wishlist the game on Steam. It's coming out in March. This was Paladin's Oath, and thanks for watching, and I see you in the next one.